Welcome to the Krista Escamilla Show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Krista Escamilla Show. I'm so glad that you're here, and I hope that life is treating you well wherever you're at, whether that's a car, on a walk, in your house, or maybe at work when you're supposed to be working, but you're listening to a podcast, which is okay. It's okay to take a little break, right? So we appreciate you choosing our show today. And the reason why I appreciate that is because the guests that are on here, we are amazed by the hard work they do in the Permian Basin every day. And so we're happy to share those stories with all of you. Before we introduce our next guest, we do want to thank our sponsors, because without our sponsors, we have no show. So a huge shout out to Rig ID Workwear, Omni Midland Hotel, to Thin FR, to the Omni Midland Hotel, Locklin Hotel, the Preserve at Midland, and also to Kevin Foreman of Foreman Financial and joincapclub.com. Support local, not only those businesses, but all businesses around you, because when you're supporting local, you're keeping our local economy strong and helping out families here in the basin. So thank you. Okay, time to introduce one of those amazing guests that I was talking about. Joining us today is Tonya Eckert, and she is the Executive Director of Casa de Amigos. Thank you so much for being with us today, Tonya.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
I'm excited to hear your story and to find out a little bit more about Casa de Amigos. But first, let's start off with, how did you get here to West Texas?
So it's kind of a fun story. My dad was a police officer, and my mother had family that lived in town. So one day he decided that maybe he needed to apply for a job out here, and got a job out here. And so it was like we loaded up the truck and moved to Beverly. You know, it was the most exciting
Just like the
time.
show.
Yeah, it was so exciting for us. And so, and we've been here ever since. That was probably in the early 70s. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so he was a police officer for a long time and worked for the Sheriff's Department as Judge Rucker's bailiff for 20 years. And so it's just really been a fun place to grow up.
I love that. So you've been immersed in the community for a long time.
Absolutely. I love it here. I've always loved it here.
You mentioned to me you went to college at Abilene Christian.
Absolutely. Went to Abilene Christian. I was really fortunate because there was Evelyn Library in our community who paid for my college. Yeah, my dad was sick for a while, and she was very gracious in her giving to a lot of people. Yes. And I just happened to be one of those. And so it was a great education. You know, initially I was going into teaching, never thought about social work, and but this is where I was led, and she helped me accomplish that goal.
I love that, and that is you know, just really speaks to the giving community that we live in too, that, you know, that she helped you, and the philanthropy here in West Texas. And I'm sure that kind of showed you a little bit that, you know, how you wanted to give back to the community. How did you get into, you know, into social work and into CASA?
You know, it's really kind of an interesting or fun story for me anyway. You know, my dad was a police officer, and so, you know, I remember him having conversations with my mom about, oh, you know, there was this kiddo, and I wonder how we need to help them, you know, because I had to, you know, give them a ticket, but I know that their family is in need. And so there were a lot of conversations around our dining room table that my mom and dad would have about different people in our community and how they could help them. And then, you know, I just went through high school, went to college, and my real good friend was in social work classes at Abilene Christian, and I was like, Paula, what are you learning in your class? And she would tell me, and I was like, that's really what I want to do.
Oh, I love that.
And so yeah, I just changed everything and went into social work instead of teaching. And just has been a blessing ever since.
I love that. Let's talk about Casa de Amigos, because I want everyone to know all the wonderful things that the organization does. So let's begin by, if you were explaining to someone that's never heard of Casa de Amigos, what is it?
Well, Casa de Amigos is such a unique and great organization, and I say that because, you know, it started in 1964, so it's really been around our community for over 60 years now. It is a great story about, you know, a group of members of the United Methodist Church who got together and saw a need because black and brown children were unable to attend school as easily as other children, and they found that to be unacceptable. and decided they were going to do something about that. And so Casa started in an abandoned grocery store over on Dallas Street, doing pre-K and kindergarten for children. And then it just immediately seemed to grow from there. That was back in 1964, and soon in the 70s, finally Casa was able to move to a little bit larger building, and then at the end of the 80s, added onto that building to have the building that we have today. So, what started out as helping children also helped families so that they could become self-sufficient. So the people before me, were very thoughtful about how they administered programs and added programs to Casa de Amigos. And were such great thinkers about what it means to serve and what it means to help people really accomplish the things that they wanted to accomplish and become self-sufficient or as independent as possible.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing how many things that they put into place.
Well, I was going to say, I'm sure it's changed a lot through the years, and there's a lot of programs that are still probably the same today as they started, but has evolved. So what are the major needs of our families here in West Texas right now, and how are you serving them?
So there are a lot of different needs that you'll find with families, and every individual family or person has their own set of history and their own set of needs. And so Casa de Amigos really provides services in four main service areas. We have education, so that's youth and adult education. We also help with social services, senior services, and health and wellness. And all of those programs really point to helping people help themselves. Mm-hmm. So, in improving the quality of life in our community by helping people help themselves. And then the vision is that every client, every member, every person we come in contact with will reach their highest level of self-sufficiency or independence. And so, really it's each person comes in and has some sort of obstacle that they might need to overcome. And that's where we start. Mm-hmm. And we're not afraid of anything, and we're not afraid of working with anyone. So we really drill down, what it is the goals are for those particular people or families, and then we just work with that. So let's say somebody wants to have a better paying job or be able to communicate better in their job. Well, we have ESL classes if maybe English speaking is a difficulty. We have GED classes because maybe education is an issue. Hopefully soon we're going to start some literacy classes for adults that are unable to read. And just really looking at what those things. For a senior citizen, on a fixed income, it may be that they're struggling with paying the light bill because they're out of contract and they don't know what that means. And so it's helping them kind of walk through that, identify, and then helping them budget around what their electric bill is going to be.
Okay.
So it can be a lot
it runs
of
the gamut.
Anything. In health and wellness, we work with Prevent Blindness. We also have a clinic, a health and wellness clinic for uninsured adults, Leslie's Place. And so that's helping someone who does not have any insurance have access to really good medical care.
That's fantastic.
And through, the generosity of the Woods family, and also through Texas Tech and Midland Memorial Hospital, we all have collaborated together to provide this clinic.
I love
and
that.
So it's just so many different things. Food insecurity, getting your taxes done. There are so many things that Casa does. It's kind of crazy.
That's fantastic because, I've been here a long time and I've heard of Casa de Amigos through the years. Didn't realize the reach that you really had. And also, we kind of wanted to separate Casa and Casa because there's two Casas. So I wanted to ask you, what is the difference between the two Casas? And
Well, that's a fun question because
Yes.
I actually worked for a time for the other CASA program, CASA of West Texas,
Yes.
and which I think is a fantastic program.
yeah, so shout out to them too today.
Yes, absolutely, because they are fantastic. So CASA of West Texas is a court-appointed special advocate program, and a lot of people do get confused about that. And their role is to advocate for children who have been abused and neglected, and to help them through the court system, to bring them to a point of where they have a permanent place to live, a permanent family to be a part of, and
Right.
and whatever is best for the child and that person who is in care. And so I was actually volunteer coordinator for CASA for a short time.
That's great.
And just absolutely loved that work. And what drew me to that is I had worked for child protection in my
Okay.
early years. And
Well, you have such a beautiful heart to serve others. I think I love
well,
that.
thank you. But, working for the state and then realizing that there was the court appointed special advocate program just seemed like such a win for all the kiddos that were in foster care. I mean, it was
Absolutely.
so fantastic to see that individual from the community. I always said that was the hardest volunteer job you will ever have.
I bet.
And
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say, I bet it's hard not to your heart would just pour out to these children.
Well,
And,
absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, they're in a dire situation, and but there are so many resilient, wonderful kids that wind up going through that system who are just so absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
They can make their way in this world and change their tree.
Yes.
And it is really fantastic. And so, yeah, my hat off to CASA and all the CASAs throughout the nation.
Yes.
It's just such a needed and great program.
Well, thank you for explaining the difference between the two, because I know sometimes when you see CASA in the community, it can, some people go, well, which CASA, or, I didn't know they did that. So now we can just kind of separate the two, but I'm sure you do work hand in hand with them a lot as well.
Well, what's really great is whenever I work for the state or whenever I work for CASA, a lot of those folks that I worked with, kiddos and adults alike, I would send to Casa de Amigos.
Wonderful.
Because maybe a parent could get their GED or they could get some assistance with maybe some clothing or food or or just someone different to
Right.
talk to about what their situation is. One of the stories that I love to tell about CASA was right after I first started working there, I was getting to know all the different programs, and we have a program called Take Two.
Okay.
And it was a program that was started with Chevron and Casa de Amigos to help individuals in the community find jobs and get certificates in hard-to-fill occupations.
Okay.
Truck driving being the most popular one.
Yes, yes.
And of course, we still have that program today.
Wow.
One of the very first participants in that program was a woman whose children were in foster care.
Wow.
And because of domestic violence in her home, and she. Her caseworker said, you need to go to CASA and talk to them about this program because you need to be financially able to take care of your own business so that you can, have your kids back with you because they
Yes.
knew it was really important to her.
Yeah.
And she was extremely successful. She got through that program, became a truck driver. She was able to get her children back. She bought a home. And then she became a supervisor, and now she has even some of her children, I think, are truck drivers, and so it just talks about the programs that CASA has that are really impactful in families' lives.
And I love what you said about changing the tree, because I think that is really important, right? If you are are going down one path and you really want your family to go down another path, all of these programs can help you do that and help you do it, because it's really them doing the hard work, right? You're guiding them, you're helping them a little bit and get in the right direction and letting them know what's out there, because I think that's important. Sometimes if your family hasn't seen what education looks like, then you're presenting it to them, right?
Absolutely.
You can help answer those questions. I love this. There's so many great aspects to Casa de Amigos, and we're going to talk more about it in just a second. But first, I just, as someone who is deep involved with social work and your love for people, you mentioned that some days are hard. What is the most rewarding part about your job? Because I know there are hard days when you see the family struggle, but I know there's those days where you go, this is why I love what I do.
Well, every day is a new day for somebody. And every day we have people that come into our building and just are just so happy to be there and know that they're changing their own lives. I mean, it is their work.
Yeah.
It's not us. I mean, we are there to encourage. We give them new information that maybe they have never heard about before. Right. We encourage them and push them and cheer for them, but they're the ones that do the hard work. And whenever they accomplish that goal, it is amazing.
Yeah, I bet you see their face light up.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
I have a lot of stories.
Good, share them. I love stories.
Well,
that's what it's about.
There was a young man that came to us to get his GED, and he had dropped out of school. It was just very difficult for him in school, and so he, and one of the neat things I think about CASA is that we can really be on people's time frame. We don't have to be on a college time frame or on, we can work with where they are at. And we worked with this young man, and he was able to accomplish his GED, and he was so shocked and so excited. And of course, we all went to the Midland College, celebrated all of the GED, those that passed the GED, and so we were all there cheering them on. It was so fun. Well, he came back and participated in our Take Two program to become a welder.
Wow.
And that just really set him up for life.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a great job. He, is a great welder. It's just stories like that.
Yeah.
You see, people who have been struggling and trying to figure out what it is that they can do to make things different.
Right.
And then when it happens, it's like, that's great. So, yeah.
I love that.
Every day is something, so every day is a great day.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. We do something called Quote of the Day, Tonya. We're sitting here today in Midland, Texas with Tonya Eckert. She is the executive director of Casa de Amigos, and we will give out the website so you can check it out here in just a few minutes. But first, we're going to have her pick out a quote of the day. So you pick one out, you read it, and you tell me what it means to you.
Okay.
You got the GROW card? Yep.
Yes, the GROW card. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Nelson Mandela. Well,
that.
of course.
Of course you would pick that card.
Yes, of course we would.
What does that mean to you?
Well, this is what Casa de Amigos is all about. You don't know what you don't know.
That's right.
And education is so important, and education looks different for so many people. It doesn't necessarily mean a college degree. Sometimes it means a high school degree. Sometimes it means a certificate. Sometimes it's just learning something you didn't know, or how to budget something you didn't know how to budget, or things that are going on in the community that might be fun or good for your family. It just means so many. Education is, I think, the basis of everything.
Absolutely. It is. What a perfect card for you to pick, because that is what you're doing daily. I love that. Do you have a favorite quote that you live by, something that has kind of helped shape your life?
I think one of my favorite things is that there is a season for everything. The Bible talks about there's just a season for everything. Yes. And sometimes seasons are tough, and sometimes they are fantastic, and sometimes it's a mix of everything.
Yes.
And, another place I like to land is, think of these things, kindness, purity, and all of those things that really exemplify love for other people.
Yes.
That's really important.
I love that. Well, thank you for sharing that. Let's talk about how people can get involved, if they know someone that could utilize your services, or if they want to get involved, because I know you have a fantastic board of people that are pouring into our community and what you're doing. So how can people get involved with Casa de Amigos?
Well, certainly they can just give us a call. If there's a need out there, if someone has a specific issue that they are dealing with, we are glad to walk them through whatever that situation is. A lot of people find themselves in a crisis situation, or maybe their grandparent needs to or would like to be a part of a group, and so that can be a part of the senior center.
Yes.
Senior centers, because we manage and operate 2 of them, and we have one on our campus. So there's a lot of different things that people can do whenever they come to Casa. And like I said before, we work with a lot of other nonprofits in town because, like you said, this is a very giving community. And we know it takes all of us to really work together to make great things happen for families. On the other side of that, we do have a lot of volunteer opportunities for folks. We do food distributions in collaboration with the food bank once a month. And we utilize companies sometimes that can provide up to 20 volunteers to help with that. We have got it down to a science, and so it's really easy.
Just have to show up and help.
You just have to show up. We'll tell you what to do,
Love it.
and we get people through and loved while they're through. So go through that. But we do have the 3 senior centers. They look for volunteers that could do special projects with them, or play bingo, call bingo for them.
Oh, that's fun. That's a great way to give
it's
back.
a fun thing.
Yes.
Yeah, and we have Alexi volunteers come and volunteer for our after-school tutoring and homework help. We're always looking for a GED and ESL volunteers to help people that are struggling a little bit more and need some extra attention. And so everywhere in our building we can use a volunteer just about. So
Great.
Whatever talent someone might have.
Okay, let's give out the phone number and your website as well.
So our website is, of course, www.casadeamigosmidland.org, and we have a lot of great information on there about our programs. And then our phone number is 432-682-9701.
Fantastic.
And
Are you on all the social medias as well?
we have Facebook and some Instagram. We're still
Okay.
working on the Instagram part of it.
Great.
And LinkedIn.
And LinkedIn. There you go. So easy to connect with Casa de Amigos, whether you know someone that could utilize their services or you want to volunteer or have your company come in and volunteer. How fun would that be to call bingo? I also know a lot of kids, or I should say young adults in West Texas that need those volunteer hours.
Absolutely.
This sounds like a great way to
Absolutely.
give back and to get those volunteer hours as well. Let's talk a little bit about some upcoming events, because I know there's always, every year there's ways that you give back to the community. So how can people sponsor a family?
So one of the things that we have coming up is called Tinsel on the Town, and we do that in collaboration with the Centennial Library, and literacy is really important at Casa, and so we want people to feel good about going to the library, our
Yes.
local libraries, and so
Which is great if you have not been lately. Yes,
absolutely.
please go utilize
Both
our libraries.
libraries are
Yes.
so fantastic here.
They are.
And so we do, we have sponsors for Christmas trees, fully decorated Christmas trees. And we also have fully decorated wreaths, Christmas wreaths,
Oh, I love that.
we put at both of the libraries, the downtown library and at the Centennial Library.
Great.
And those trees that we have, usually around 25 or so, go to families that we're working with at Casa de Amigos who,
Great.
are just right there,
Yeah.
and things are changing and they've got kiddos and, it's easy to find toys.
Yes.
Not so easy to get a tree.
Right.
And
I
all the
love that.
decorations that go with it. And so we really try to support families in that way. And it's a little bit of a fundraiser too, and it helps us with our programming and with those families and individuals that we serve. And then after the beginning of the year, on March 21st, we have our annual House of Friends gala, and it is at the Bush Convention Center, and we're really, really excited about it. It's grown in the last couple of years, and so, it's good food, it's a good time, it's a lot of fun dancing, and we will probably have an entertainer there. We have not officially announced that yet, so
we'll keep it a little secret until then.
It's a secret
until
then, but I would just encourage people who might want to sponsor either one to take a look at our website. They can get some information off of there and on our Facebook.
Great, fantastic. Well, I'm glad you mentioned those things because we want everyone to know, how they can jump in and support as well. Because as we mentioned, this is the most giving community ever, right here.
It is awesome.
We're going to ask you a question out of the question of the day now, so feel free to reach in. Just a fun little thing we do here, Tonya. Okay, and you got the trusting card. I love that.
Trusting card.
Which question did you get?
What is or who? What is?
It could be my writing. I apologize.
I'm sorry.
Who is your why? What is your why? Why do you do what you do?
Well, I think I just come from a legacy of my mom and dad having those dinner table discussions and just our family as a whole.
Yeah.
So I think probably that's why.
Yes.
It's just a real calling. For me, I say all the time, I get to do the Lord's work, and I even get paid for it. I mean, that's crazy.
I love that.
So it's just really fulfilling that so many lives can be changed through what has happened way before me.
Yes.
And with all of the staff members that just love on people every day and make their lives better.
I love that. Well, thank you for doing what you do in our community. It is one of those things where that it is needed, and luckily we have people like you that are providing these opportunities for people, and I love that because
thank you.
It's when opportunity meets at the right time, and you are meeting them at the right time many days, and so I love that you get to do that for our community because it just makes us all better.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about some fun things about Tonya. So now we get to know Tonya a little better. So first one is, Tonya, fun fact about you I would not know reading your bio.
Okay, a fun fact about me is that I lived in the Panhandle for a while, and I was able to herd cattle horseback with a group of other people and take them across highways and into new fields, and I can drive a combine.
Wow, that's impressive. That is so. How did you learn it? Just on the spot there?
Well, I was up there, and that's farming company, community, and I just had great friends.
Very cool.
That taught,
I love that. Yeah. Okay, a favorite life hack, something that makes your life a little easier.
Well, I always think it's important to push the easy button whenever you can.
Yes.
So, let me think. I think the best life hack that I have is that I get up early and just spend a moment alone to think about the day and just to have some time to reflect. And I think that's probably the best thing you can do. And I walk every day.
Yes, fellow walker every day.
Yes, it's perfect.
Isn't that? It's such a great way to start your day off because you really kind of put your day together and you get peace to start off, and you've done one thing for yourself that day, which makes you be able to pour into others throughout the rest of the day. I love that. So I love a fellow walker.
I love
good
walking.
Life hacks.
I'm glad I've done that.
Yes. Favorite coffee shop here in West Texas?
Okay, this is like I'm a coffee snob.
Are you?
I think.
Oh,
Yes.
I love getting tips from a coffee snob. Yes, I can't wait.
I make my own coffee.
Okay.
Morning. Yes, and all it is HEB Texas pecan coffee and a little mocha caramel. Creamer.
Little creamer. There you go.
Every morning.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Somebody told me that made me a coffee snob.
No, I love it because we make our coffee at home as well most days. And if we're out and about, we will support local. We
absolutely.
Of course, love our Far West and Leyenda's great over here, and there's lots of great local shops.
Well, and I will say I've had coffee from everywhere, and it's all great.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's
but
all good.
Sometimes you just can't beat it home.
Yeah.
Let's talk about restaurants. Favorite restaurant in West Texas?
Gerardo's.
So good. That sounds good right now.
Favorite.
I must be hungry.
Yeah.
But it does sound really good. Favorite movie?
Oh goodness. I don't know.
Hey, we can come back to that.
Yeah.
We can we can do the pass button. And let's, how about favorite song? If you have a song, you're walking to a new event, you've got a song playing in your head that's just going to pump you up. What song is that?
That's another hard one.
I ask the tough questions.
I know. These are tough. Well, and I just love so much music.
Yeah.
You know, I think probably my most favorite song is a song my husband wrote,
Oh.
which is called 10.
Oh, I love it.
And yeah, that's probably my most favorite song.
Very cool. Very cool. That's another fun fact about yours. Your
Yeah.
husband wrote a song.
He wrote a song.
Very cool. And is this out for recording? Can we hear it anywhere?
Yeah, I think you can actually hear it on Spotify.
There you go. Go
Yeah.
to Spotify. What's your husband's name? Let's give him a
Ron
shout
Eckert.
out. Ron Eckert.
Yeah.
There you go. Go
Yeah.
listen to his song. I love it. Favorite book?
Well, you know, it's really kind of funny that you have this John Maxwell book here because I really love everything he's written.
Don't you? Isn't he
Yeah.
the best? Just so
Yeah.
you can all see at home what's staring at her right here. This, because I love to. Today Matters is so good if you haven't read John Maxwell, but all his books are great.
All of his books. I mean, I have
they're all
some of the
fantastic.
smaller ones, and I can't think of one particularly now, but I have highlighted different ideas,
Yes.
and yeah, I love those books.
Well, and he's just so right on the money with everything.
Every
Like when you
time.
read it, you go yes, and
Absolutely.
that is why he is a best-selling author, and
Absolutely.
I am not.
Yes,
But yeah, no,
yes.
he is fantastic, and I'm glad you shouted him out because we are huge Maxwell fans.
Yeah.
He's actually sat in that same chair that you're in.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
How
he-
about that?
Yeah, we had him here one
Lucky
day.
me.
I'm just thinking. I want to go back and re-listen now that I thought about that because he is so great and
Yeah,
just
he
such a
is.
smart man.
Yeah.
Favorite memory made in West Texas.
Oh goodness, in West Texas, favorite memory. You know, I have a lot of favorite memories here. You know, I enjoyed my high school years here.
Oh, where'd you
and
go? Shout 'em
I
out.
went to Midland Christian,
Okay.
third graduated class.
Oh wow.
I know, so it was a long time ago.
That's really cool though. You're a part of the
but
beginning. Yeah.
And so I really enjoyed it. I was on the student council, and I
Okay.
think that was one of my most fun memories.
Yeah.
But you know, after that, just living and working here and being a part of the community, and I just really, I think just Midland is my favorite memory.
Oh, I love that.
honestly.
I love someone that loves Midland because it is such a great place, and
It
I
is
think
a fantastic place.
I think it's a message we just need to share more
Yeah.
of because I mean, really, it has everything we need. It really does, but most importantly, it has good people.
Yeah, it has
tho-
great people.
That's
Yeah,
that's what I love
absolutely.
about it.
Yeah.
Well, good. I love
Yeah.
that. Okay, we're coming to the end. Let me go through, make sure I'm not missing anything. Are you a podcast listener?
I am sometimes, but I haven't in a long time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say favorite podcast, but yeah, we can skip that one. You want to go back to favorite movie?
You're my favorite podcast.
Thank you. I love that you said that. Thank you so much. But you know, there's so many good ones out there. There really is. I just love
Yeah.
the podcast genre. I think
I do too.
I think
And-
it's great.
Well, and the other day I was thinking to myself, and this is way off topic, but I really wanted to start listening to more like when I was driving to school, to work and
Yeah.
coming home from work, you know, because there's so much great information and it's fun to hear,
Yes.
you know, from people like you and different people who are speaking about not only here, but other places throughout the world.
That's
And,
right.
Yeah, it's just neat.
You can find a podcast about anything these days. So whatever your likes and interests are. Speaking of, do you have a favorite hobby?
Well, I really, really love to garden
Oh, that's
and
great.
a lot, and I really like to cook.
Okay.
I'm not the best cook, but I really do enjoy cooking. It kind of like, whoo.
I love
at the
that.
end of the day.
Relaxing for
Yeah,
you.
it's
Do you
very
have
relaxing.
number one cooking tip that you share, like maybe with your daughters or with anyone?
Well, they used to, bless their heart, I would like kick them out of the kitchen some, but you know, I think it's just understanding your ingredients and just thinking outside of the box because I never follow a recipe and it's really what smells great or looks good together or so I just tell people to explore whenever they're
Yes.
cooking, just explore and that's what I tell the girls, just you know, explore for yourself
Yes.
because you just never know what you can put together.
That's true. That's true. Just have fun in there. Look at it as creative and get in there.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
Well, we're coming toward the end of our podcast, but I want to ask you, is there anything that maybe we haven't asked you about Casa de Amigos that you really feel is just important to share with our listeners today, that you want to, maybe expand on or talk a little bit more about?
Well, there's so much to talk about when it comes to Casa de Amigos, and that is really, I love it there, and that's probably one of those topics I could talk about for hours and hours. So I just encourage people to look at our website or come by and visit, call me, and I'll take you on a tour, and so you can get to know what people before me had put together.
Yes.
And the different things that we do there, because, it's really amazing how much we can do there, and the staff members that we have there, how dedicated they are to each person that comes through.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have people that will call me and say, well, do you know my da-da-da-da-da needs, and oh yeah, let them talk to,
Right.
and it'll be, our senior services coordinator, or it'll be our social service coordinator,
Right.
someone,
Right.
and so there's just so much to talk about. One of the neat things about Casa too is that we were the first on several things. Casa hosted 211
Okay.
in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Casa started if not the first, one of the first VITA, Volunteer Income Tax Assistance programs in the nation.
Wow.
There's just a lot of different things that Casa was really on the forefront of making sure that people were served and at the very best that they could.
Yeah.
So,
and I love what you said about just going and taking a tour, because, and I think that's great for any of our amazing nonprofits in West Texas.
Yeah.
I know when Senior Life when they got their new building, it took me a while, but I finally got in there, and I was like, I want to go take a tour just to see what this is all about, because once you've toured somewhere and then you can either direct people there and help, or you can jump in and help yourself.
Exactly.
And so I love that you mentioned that, because I think that is one of the best ways to, if you're new to West Texas, we have a young demographic here in Midland and Odessa, and we want to make sure that if you are young and looking for something to do and pour your time and pour your heart into, go and tour and take just take the initiative.
Yeah, just
because
get
once
to
you
know.
do, they trust me, will be more than happy to show you around.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, and then jump in and help, because we are all better together. So.
Absolutely.
Well, Tonya, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to get to
Well,
know
thank
you better,
you.
and
Thank
just
you.
to hear all the great things that Casa de Amigos is doing, because again, if we don't hear it, we don't know what's happening. Yeah, right. And how we can help it, facilitate either more people to go there or to more helpers. So I'm glad we were able to share that information today.
Well, thank you.
Let's give the website one more time, just so people can look.
It's www.casadeamigosmidland.org.
And remember, right now you can sign up. You can either sponsor a family or donate so that they can get a Christmas tree this year, because I can't think of anything better than to give the gift of a tree to a family that maybe otherwise wouldn't have one. So thank you so much for
Absolutely.
doing that, and for
Thank
all the hard
you.
work you're doing to make our community better. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you. We all appreciate you and allowing us the time to talk about Casa.
Absolutely. I am cheering for y'all. I'm one of Midland's biggest cheerleaders, but that means I'm your cheerleader. So I want to see y'all do, continue the good work and do the great things that you're doing, because it makes our community better. So
Absolutely.
thank you. And thank you for listening. Please share this with someone today. You never know how this can affect someone down the road, whether it's someone that could use the services, maybe needs a little direction in getting their GED, or maybe a truck driving license, or maybe helping them, as Tonya mentioned earlier today, with getting bills paid, and how the process looks like. They are there to help. Casa de Amigos is here to help our community. So please pass this on to someone that you know that could help or wants to volunteer their time or donations. So thank you. And of course, a big thank you to our sponsors. Cannot do the show without you. So a huge thank you to Rig ID Workwear, Omni Midland Hotel, also to Thin FR and Kevin Foreman of Foreman Financial, the Locklin Hotel, and joincapclub.com and Midland Cap Company. So support local wherever you're at. support all of our local nonprofits. That's it for today. Thank you for joining us, sharing your time and listening, learning, and growing. And don't forget to dream big, believe, and never give up. You make it a great day.